You're listening to the Roosters Mania TV podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5 of Roosters Mania TV. I'm brought to you by Luke, Theo, Jordan.
Evening, gents.
And guys,
how you going?
Did we witness the greatest upset of all time over the weekend?
It could have been. It could have been.
I'm
Mate,
still lost for words.
We were paying $25 after Paul Alamotti scored. We were paying
Crazy stuff,
$25 to win.
Crazy stuff at Parramatta Stadium, or Combank, we call it now.
mate, honestly, you guys were at the game. I was down in Victoria for a wedding, and I was watching the hotel room with my mother, and I tell you what, we were probably the only people watching league down in Victoria, and the whole hotel complex would have heard us. We were jumping up and down, and it was just, at the beginning of the game, like a lot of fans, I was just like, oh, do I even watch it? Like a lot of people midweek, 50 on and blah, blah, blah. But the heart they showed, those young boys on debut, or even one game up their sleeve, it's in my top 3 Roosters games of all time.
So impressive.
What do you think about it, mate?
It was impressive, honestly. I can't believe the way we played.
How was it in the Chooks, man?
We blew up. Put it that way.
Honestly, I think the best way to describe it, it felt like a grand final.
I'll tell you something. Last week I mentioned on the show, be there for the team. When we were up 14 points at one stage on Channel 9, Phil Gill mentioned, the fans are here, have faith in your team. I've been saying since 3 weeks ago, have faith in the boys. They had a full team. We had lots of debutants, new guys. We went out there, we killed it. We packed out the away bay, and mate, even Freddie Fitler, was it you that said it?
I was listening to, I was on 9, and Freddie said, look, it's a Penrith home game. They're probably getting used to the ground, but I tell you what, these Roosters fans are deafening right now. I am paraphrasing him, but it was pretty much what he was saying.
I was going to say, you're pretty spot on. I definitely felt we out-chanted them all night, the noise we were making.
Well, these Penrith fans,
That-
12,000 people, you've won 4 premierships in a
They
row.
must just get sick of
What
it.
did I say to you last week? You said to me, I think Penrith supporters will make their way down the M4. to
Generally,
Parramatta."
I thought they would have, but I'll be honest, we got, 23 against the Broncos. I was extremely disappointed in
So the
Penrith
crowd
fans.
was about 12,000?
12,300.
like the old days back at Penrith when they weren't winning comps. So
Honestly, yeah. It was really disappointing, to be honest. I thought there'd be 20.
I'll tell you what was disappointing when they left 15 minutes before the game.
Oh, and look, we blasted Roosters fans for
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of them leaving with about 15, 20 minutes to go. I was
14 points
surprised.
only. 14.
Yeah, and it's not like the first time they've chased down that sort of total.
They
so-
did, yeah, because Feel Good, he kept harping on about it, saying, Cleary's been here before against Para. It sounded a bit scripted, but obviously Toops saved that try right at the end where
But-
Toy almost scored.
Apart from the crowd numbers, to all the Roosters fans that did come out on Friday night,
Thank you.
big respect to you all. Like, we
Respect,
gave
mate,
out
respect.
everything.
You were there.
We gave out everything, mate. And it was so hot. It was humid. We were all drenched in sweat, man.
Yeah, we were hugging each other at the end of the game. And it was just sweat on sweat.
It felt like a desert, didn't it?
It did. I feel like I was in Dubai.
There was no. Dubai's not as humid.
Well, they do call it the Golden West.
Well, I mean, I don't know about gold, but
Wild,
it was
Wild West.
bloody Sahara style heat. It was ridiculous.
Took out Sando,
Yeah, it took us.
and then Edwards went through, and then obviously Cleary put the kick up. Penrith scored.
Liam Henry scored.
Liam
Problem
Henry,
was though, because there was a tackle, they couldn't go back and look at it at the bunker, which is annoying. Because I'll tell you now, with where we were standing, we were at the furthest end from that, and I could see clear as day there was an obstruction there. So I don't know how 3 officials missed that.
think we got hard
Common
umpire?
sense wasn't prevailed,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
like it wasn't even like he just touched him. He squared up body on Sando. So
which impacted and Edwards took
Edwards just went
advantage.
step back in.
When it
and
had
go.
an advantage, went through the hole,
Yeah.
untouched.
I mean, look, we got the win, and for Sando, he matured overnight. Was that his best game he's played in the red, white, and blue?
You've had a big rap
I-
on him.
I love-
Our
look,
first episode. What'd
I
you say
love
about him?
Sando. I just said he's going to be the 6 of the future. Stick with him. I spoke about the Manly game last year where he decimated their left edge. Their right edge defense, our left edge attack. I think the best moment for me out of the game was that little pass back into him, watching him outspeed Cleary.
That's right.
And I was so proud of that
Just
kid.
missed
Like
that ankle tap.
he just missed it. And to be honest, you boys might remember last year when we had that semi-final at Penrith Stadium, Connor Watson's charge down and Cleary chased him down.
That's right.
That went through my head the moment I saw Cleary, and then I just saw Sando get past. And oh mate, so proud of that kid. He is genuinely going to be the face of the club one year, I reckon.
I honestly believe that he is destined for good things to come.
Great
This
things.
is, you know what? If he can beat Penrith, he can beat anybody.
Yeah, 100%.
Proven fact there. And I'll tell you what, once Sam Walker comes back, they'll complement each other and they'll be a very lethal combination for the future. No doubt about that.
Theo, funny you say about winning and Roosters, because last week our special guest on here,
Oh,
he
Flaxy.
made a
Flaxy.
comment about us having no
So,
chance.
Flaxy, if you're listening to Roosters Mania TV, my friend, you were seen right where Jordan was and you said, I believe it's going to be a training run. Well, I guess these things don't come to fruition, do they?
One thing I will give Flaxy credit for, he was a good sport. We did see him after the
Yes.
game, and he
Yeah.
was a very good sport. So
So we love
Flaxy,
you, Flax.
We
for
love
that.
you, mate. We love you.
Luke, back to the game quickly. Who was your player that stood out for you?
Mate,
So many.
Tedesco,
Yeah, Teddy.
Connor Watson,
Yeah.
and Sando, I reckon.
Connor Watson, another 49 tackles and missed one.
Mate, what
That's
a beast.
2 weeks in a row he's hit nearly 50.
I'll tell you mine. Phil White. Mate,
Yeah, I was good.
he just steamrolling people.
I'm glad you said that because I was reading something in the paper the other day, I think it was Sunday, and it actually brought up an interesting question. Spencer's back this week in New Zealand.
Yep.
Does Nafahu stay at prop and Spencer comes off the bench?
It's an option.
Because look at the way
Maybe.
Nafahu led our pack. He was brilliant.
I think he will. I think Spence might come off the bench.
30 tackles.
I think Trent will name Spencer at starting, but then he'll make a late change and Spencer will go to the bench
Yeah.
and then Nafahu will start.
Because Radley's potentially back this week, which means does Radley go back to right
Radley's
edge?
confirmed he will be
Yeah.
back.
So right edge, Wong at lock.
What about Lindsay? Is Linz or no? Linz has got an illness still.
We haven't heard anything yet, so it'll be interesting to see.
I
if
think
does.
he'll be back, yeah.
I think he was named, but yeah, I don't know if he'll be playing. We'll see
Okay.
what happens. What about you, Theo? Who was your man of the
Well,
match?
you know what? I'm surprised you guys didn't mention him. Mark Nawanga Tawase. Sorry if I didn't
there
get
was,
that right.
so many to pick
No, I can
from.
do
Well,
it.
no, I say you say it better. But sitting right next to his family in the Chook pen and how proud they were, and he owned it. And this is no
Great
disrespect.
game. Best game so
This is
far.
no disrespect to Sue, who we've got on our wall, but Sue has not played. Has not played very well at centre. He plays good on the wing. Mark played unbelievable at centre, and Mark is going to make that centre spot his home now.
He just looks so smooth and clean, especially like when he did that break, just a little flick off back to Crichton.
It's his body frame. He's just so strong.
Not
and,
bad
And you know what I
for-
love? His first
Tested
try.
the Penrith backs.
He's got some pace on him.
Oh, yeah. And look, that's his sevens background, but not bad for a guy who's played 3 games of NRL since he was 15.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's all he's played. Like, yeah, he's been playing union, but it's still a different game.
Also, press conference. Trent mentioned your boy Taylor. He hits
Yes.
the tools after a big win.
On the tools at 7
Mate,
a.m. the next day.
I'll
What
tell you what, you got to give him credit. Like playing 80 minutes of footy against Penrith, and then he's on the tools the next morning. Mate,
That's incredible. That just shows
Hats
your
off to
dedication.
him. Honestly, hats off to him.
you got to put your heart into the game, and I think he's on. It was reported a $20,000 train and trial contract.
Yeah, he's on a reserve
Yeah,
development
and
contract. Yeah.
Yeah, it just shows that hopefully one day the kid will be holding up a premiership with the
Oh,
Chooks.
I think it's going to be safe to say that if he's not by the end of this year, he'll be on a top 30 contract very
Oh, yeah.
soon. If they're not already in those talks, because the way he played, amazing.
I'm so happy for the youngsters, man. I really
5
am.
of them.
Yeah. Rob Toya, Celesi Vidikefe.
Keddy.
Sorry, my mistake. Obviously Taylor, your boy.
Solid.
Who else?
Mark
Mark Nawanga Tawase.
and Hugo.
Black Steeps, 3 games in.
And
Yeah,
Hugo didn't
Hugo
really play that
Savala.
much, but yeah, he played a
Yeah.
couple
But
of minutes.
shout out to Hugo
Made
and
his
his fan
debut.
base. They came out to Combank, and it was credit to him. They were singing the Hugo chants. It was on
Mate,
nine.
I feel like I was at a Super League game.
Honestly,
so
they
loud.
actually they had they organised a bus to get him out there. I thought
Yeah,
that was
from
heavy.
Bronny,
A
yeah.
party bus to get him out there. I love that.
And on top of that, he's a local junior.
So cop that.
Yeah, so everyone says we have no juniors. Well, there's another one up here. So
Jordan, who was your player of the match?
Oh, mate, look, I'm going Sando. Sando's my guy. I'm going with him. But look, I could easily pick 17 blokes that were my favourite from the game. But it kind of made me think of something, right? There was a lot of fans that walked out on us last week. So Benny and I, we went down a rabbit hole this weekend, boys. I love my stats.
Yep.
So Benny and I really, really went down a rabbit hole because, look, every time we lose, the first thing you hear is Robbo's got to go, right? That's the first thing you hear.
And then when we win, it's Robbo we trust.
And then when we win, it's Robbo we trust. So after the weekend, all I saw was these guys going, oh, yeah, all you people calling for Robbo's head. How do you feel? And they're like, yeah, we were wrong. We finally beat Penrith. So Benny gave me an idea and I ran with it. He done some legwork for me and I done some stat work. Boys, since the NRL era, right, we've had a few coaches. Famously, obviously, Robbo we've had for the last 12 years. We've had Ricky Stewart. We've had Chris Anderson, Brian Smith. Brad Fittler. We've had a lot of coaches. So I'm going to run you through some stats. And this is basically to everyone who bags Robbo out every single week to finally pull these guys' heads in. There's been 27 seasons since the NRL era started, 1998.
Yep.
12 of them were under Robbo. In those 27 seasons, we've made the finals 20 times. 11 of those were under Robbo. 14 times we finished in the top 4 since 98. 8 of them were under Robbo. We've finished in the bottom 8 7 times. Only once under Robbo. We've won 4 grand finals, 02, 13, 18, 19. Guess what? Robbo won 3 of them. We have lost the grand final 4 times. 2000, 2003, 2004, 2010. Guess what? None of them were under Robbo. We have made 13 preliminary finals in 27 years. 7 of them were under Robbo. We've won 3 of them, obviously, because we won the 3 grand finals. We have won 5 minor premierships.
And they were all Robbo.
No, 4.
4 Robbo.
There was one that wasn't under Robbo.
Ricky Stewart.
Yep. So now I'm going to go even further. Now, we've done 2 lots of sets, and guys, you'll see some graphs on your screen that'll back up what I'm saying here. So the first thing we've done is everyone knows the super coach, Wayne Bennett, right?
Yep.
Wayne Bennett's had a great career. There's no denying what he's done. 06 with the Broncos, 2010 with the Dragons, 2021 with the Rabbits was a good year. We also threw Brad Arthur in there because Brad Arthur was a very long-term coach at Parramatta.
Yep.
Now, Robbo 12 seasons, Bennett 11, Brad Arthur 11. This is since Robbo started coaching, okay? Robbo has had 9 top 8 finishes. Wayne Bennett has had 8. Arthur has had 5. All right, in 11 seasons. Grand finals, Robbo 3 from 3. Bennett bump from 2. And Brad Arthur famously bump from 1. Bottom 8 finishes. Robbo's had 1. Bennett has had 3. Arthur has had 6. That's bottom 8 finishes in the last 12 years. But now we went even further, all right? Now, this one hopefully will be an easy
busy
question.
weekend.
Mate, I'll tell you what, shout out to Rocket, Dylan Hillier. He messaged me yesterday during the West game and said, when's the last time West had kept a team to 0 at half time? And I didn't have time to look at him, even though it was only the week before, because I was working on this. Me and Benny really spent some time here. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Now, there's only 3 clubs, so there's 3 answers, that have had 1 coach since 2013. Who are they?
Craig Bellamy.
Craig Bellamy at the Storm, yep. Obviously us, the
I
Roosters.
was going to say us.
Who's the third one?
Ricky? No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ricky.
Ricky.
At the Raiders. So there's been 3 coaches that have been the one at one club, only one club for that entire time, right? Now, I'm going to give a shout out to some clubs, right? Every other club in the NRL, with the exception of the Dolphins, because obviously they've only had 2, have had at least 4 coaches in that time.
Jeez.
Special mention to the Titans. They're leading the way. They're leading the pack. It'll be on that graph. 9 coaches since 2007.
Since
9.
Since 2007 when they started.
Right,
But still, we've done it for their whole career. The Dogs and Tigers 7. Now that includes interim coaches. So if they fired a coach mid-year, someone's come in to fill the job. That includes them. We've counted the interims. Now, I want to read some stats. Now, obviously, Bellamy's a super coach. There's no denying that. And we as a group, we have a lot of respect for Bellamy. Top 8 finishes. Robbo has had 11 from 12. Bellamy, 12 from 12. Stewart, 4 from 12. Now, special shout out to Bellamy. This is something that me and Benny found out when we were going through it. Or Benny found it first. He's been coaching for, say, 23 years. He has missed the finals 1 year in those 23 years.
And that was a salary cap era.
2010, where they weren't allowed to accrue points. So I want to just show some respect to Bellamy there because that's an incredible effort. Minor premierships. Bellamy 5, Robbo 4, Stewart, duck eggs. Right? Grand final appearances and wins. Robbo, again, 3 from 3. Bellamy, 2 from 4. Ricky, 0 from 1 in 2019. Bottom 8 finishes. Obviously, Bellamy had none. Robbo's had 1, 2016. Ricky Stewart has had 8 bottom 8 finishes in 12 years.
Wow.
So to every single one of our fans who every week when we lose say, get rid of Robbo, show the man some damn respect.
And
In
show,
Robbo, we
and you
trust.
can show the fans that fact sheet, mate.
In Robbo, we trust. The graphs are going up there. I'll tell you now, I have triple checked every single one of these stats. If you say get rid of Robbo, get out of the club. That man has done so much for us. He deserves more respect than he gets. Look, we're not always going to agree with everything he says. All right? There's going to be decisions that the club makes, he makes that we don't always agree with. But at the end of the day, his success is there. To be fair, the only coach more successful than him over a 12-year period is Craig Bellamy. And I'll tell you what, I know Penrith have won 4 in a row. But if we're going over the NRL era, we are the most successful club from Sydney. We are the second most successful club in the NRL era behind Melbourne. And especially since 2013. Respect the man. Show him that love because he's done a lot for us. So, boys, that was my weekend.
Very
between
nice,
running around in 37-degree heat at cricket. That was my weekend, was putting that together. So me and Benny went on down the rabbit hole. But, boys, we got to show Robbo some love. I think a lot of people don't. We do, as a group, we do.
Remember we spoke to him last year after the Parramatta game at Combank?
Yeah.
Mate, he's just such a humble guy.
He's such a nice guy, and everything about him is he loves his club, and you can see that he bleeds his club. Like, the man...
Yeah, he'll be there for some time, and I think there's always going to be ebbs and flows.
You know what it is? I think it's the methods. A lot of... I feel I could speak for some fans. I'm not trying to shit on this party for a second. The 50 points didn't help.
Yeah.
And straight away people just made an assessment of him. He's got to go, which is wrong.
Yeah.
You're not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes in life. Sure, he would have done things differently for the Broncos game, but unfortunately, the players didn't contribute to that defeat as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just the coach's fault. It upsets me, no doubt about it. Inside, it burnt me. Bro, weren't we all burning when we lost 50?
Oh, mate, but we were there and,
Well, we took it.
Yeah, we took it on the chin and went, all right, let's go to next week.
Next week. And look what they did. They just came out of nowhere and put this performance on.
It was definitely a proud performance. Now, Theo, the refs, mate. You want to touch on that?
Jordan touched on
Back into the Penrith Roosters game.
Yeah, Jordan touched on love with the coach. There's no love for these referees. I'll tell you that. Right? I don't give a shit what anyone says. It was chest. They looked at different angles to try and get him sin-binned. I don't care what anyone says.
Question. So you brought that up, and he's been charged with a grade 2, which is at least a week suspension.
Yep.
I've heard, the early news is the Roosters are going to fight it. I was watching the Para West game, mate. Were you?
I was. And Jack Williams...
How does he not go to the bin?
Appy Coruscant was clutching at his face. He goes, I've been hit high, sir. I've been hit high. They were going to wave that away until they looked at it, and then they go, oh, we're just going to put on a report and let match review committee deal with it. He was fine today for that tackle.
How do you get fined for that? And, like, you and I were talking, like, the judiciary has their process of, like, low and moderate. How do you only get fined for that? Like, he stood up and put it straight
Scott
into his head.
Sorensen played the ball, didn't even make a complaint, nothing. There was nothing in it. And I'm like, what were they trying to do? So Penrith knocked on, and this rule I cannot stand. I just cannot hack it. Your advantage has been given. You've lost the ball, and then they go, oh, we're going to blow a penalty.
Yeah.
And then give you back the advantage.
I think I'm more pissed off at the judiciary, to be honest, like the match review committee, because that's just I struggled once I saw that Jack Williams tackle, honestly.
So look, it is what it is. Hopefully he gets off, he goes and fights it, and that's it. So yeah, let's change gears, I think, because the referees have been a bit of a downfall. We'll start previewing some games, shall we?
Looking back at the round that was.
We're going to the round. Theo, mate, Knights, Dolphins, what was your
Thursday
thoughts?
night.
Knights and Dolphins will obviously Ponga, Sharp, Marju, and their forward pack absolute dominated the Dolphins. The Dolphins had no answer. Katoa did try to bring them back in the game, but the Dolphins are just, they can't complete. Their completion rate
could be a tough year for them, I think. Was Manly in New Zealand?
The Wayne Bennett era.
Yeah.
The Wayne Bennett curse.
It's going to curse them.
Without Wayne Bennett, my mistake. So, yeah. And then obviously the Wars and put an upset.
That was a bit of a
Manly,
shock.
yeah.
Manly scored early
Bit of an
as
upset
well.
round.
You know what? That's the beauty of our competition, eh? Penrith copped it. Manly copped it. How good is rugby?
The Broncos
league?
copped
It is the
Mate,
best
yep.
game.
I was the only one that tipped Canberra. And I had a feeling down there Ricky would get him up for it. And then
It was an ambush.
it was an
He
ambush.
did. He ambushed them. That forward pack, wow.
And Jordan, what did you think of Dragons and Souths over at Wollongong?
Honestly, I feel sorry for it to be a Dragons player this week. Shane Flanagan said in his press conference that you'd hate to be one of his players over the next 7 to 10 days. I think they got the bye this weekend. And yeah, look, to be honest, 2 weeks in a row, the Dragons were very unimpressive. And 2 weeks in a row, Souths were
underwhelming,
unimpressive.
I think. Yeah.
Well, Dragons were up 24-12 at one point and then lose it. Like, look, they lost it to a Jamie Humphries field goal, but if you're a Manly fan, how pissed are you that they let Jamie Humphries go? Like, genuinely, Lewis Dodd was brought over to be the halfback of this
Mate,
team.
and the guns on him.
The
I don't
guns
know.
on him. And Campbell Graham did say this on a Fox show after last night's game, a Sunday night show. He's single, so ladies, get into those Instagram DMs.
He's got a good rig, hasn't he, on you?
Mate, he's the most buff halfback I've seen. But yeah, look, I'm going to make an early crow here. I think he's going to be in the runner for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
The way he's playing.
Yeah. That's a good shout.
He's playing so well.
Just behind Rob Toyer.
Just behind Rob Toy. Well, I said he's going to be in the shout. I said he was going to be in the shout. I didn't say he was going to win it. I said he's going to be in the shout for it.
What about Cowboys Sharks made up at Townsville?
Mate, I know you backed the Cowboys to finish fourth,
Yeah.
but if they're going to do
I'm
that,
looking good.
genuinely, they need to pull their heads out because they look so soft. Cronulla weren't at 100%, you could tell that. And they ran over it, 36-12. Sam Stone Street was probably player of the match. I think he scored 2. The Cowboys missed 37 tackles.
Yeah.
Like, that's just... Yeah, the Cowboys just look soft at the
You'd
moment.
think they'd be all right, a bit more acclimatised to the weather, and
that's
they
what
just got rolled.
I backed them going, they've just lost a game. They got flogged by Manly and Brookvale. They're going up to North Queensland. Surely they're going to kick in. But
Out of all the teams this week who have been beaten, I think the Cowboys were the most, even Parramatta, but I think Cowboys more because the Cowboys had an opportunity here to make an impact and make a statement that they're not going to be a pushover, and they have failed again, and they failed in North Queensland in the heat as well. And Cronulla were struggling with the heat. But then once they got a couple of tries, it was Cronulla's momentum was just too much.
Domino
they just couldn't
A
stop
shout out to Scott Drinkwater. I think he's trying his guts out. He's the only one I think that's having a crack, but no one else is really stepping up for the Cowboys, which is sad.
Luke, mate, take it away. Raiders versus Broncos down in
Mate,
Canberra.
what a shock that game
The
was.
Broncos or the Donkeys?
I wasn't shocked.
They look like the Donkeys
we
on the
thought
weekend.
we thought the Donkeys were gonna win easily down there.
Back-to-back wins.
But Canberra, they were amazing. The completion rate was 79%.
Corey Horsburgh and Papali'i out of the front. Just
Corey Horsburgh, I tell you what, he's had a great start to the season because last year there was rumours he was almost going
He
to be
was
out
on
of
the out.
He-
He had
yeah,
a
he
big
was-
falling out with Ricky Stewart.
he was done.
He was going Tigers or Dragons.
Yeah,
There was
Imagine
rumours,
that.
yeah.
Mate, I know Jesse Arthur scored a hat trick that night. But a big shout out to the debutant, Matty Nicholson. He
Yeah.
scored 2
The
tries on his
Englishman,
debut.
yes.
For Warrington.
Yeah.
They love an
And,
Englishman, don't they?
Oh, mate, Ricky loves it, an English back rower.
Yeah, I know it was a close game, but Reece Walsh, 51 meters, 4 errors.
Yeah.
Please don't start me on that
That's
guy.
not
I
Reece
captained him in
Walsh.
Super Coach, and I am now wearing it. And my flex was removed, by the way, as well because of you, Reese.
Sucks
So,
to be
Reese,
you.
it does suck to be me, but Reese, get your act together, mate. You're $1 million player. Come on.
Well, yeah, my fullback was Teddy, so we can...
You done well then.
Yeah, we done well.
Yeah.
What
And-
about
My next game, the Tigers Para game.
Yeah,
You
Boys,
must have enjoyed that, didn't you?
I'm happy. Well, I had a wedding on the weekend, so I didn't watch much footy.
Who puts
But I
who
was-
puts a wedding on footy weekend?
Especially
That's
a Parramatta game. Come on.
Mate,
I was best man, so I couldn't do much.
Tell me something. Were you on your phone just having a little glance at the score? Surely.
Pretty much.
And were you thinking about Anthony Moses, by the way, as well, the same token?
Oh, mate. I was messaging him. I wasn't thinking about I was messaging him. He's like, go back to the wedding, you're best man. I said, mate, I got a message here, like you message when we lose. But I'm happy, boys, about that, and unhappy. Terrell May, he
another
played
big game.
another great game. I miss him.
He'll have a good year.
43 tackles he made on Sunday
Played like
afternoon.
another 65 minutes or something, didn't he, in
and
that heat?
yeah, and Taruva, mate, he killed it. He scored a hat trick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the West Panthers are doing all right.
And young Lockie Galvin, 1 try and 2 try assists, mate.
Let's call them the Western Panthers.
I had a feeling it was going to be a close game. I didn't think that would be like a big, especially the first half an hour. I heard that there was a lot of errors, right?
well, there was. It was
Plenty.
so hot that the players were struggling.
Yeah.
It was like 38 around that.
Yeah, they reckon kickoff was like 38, yeah.
so
And
it
I
was-
think Parra just never got into gear. It just didn't show any attack. I was watching it and I just thought this game is so boring.
And also the Parramatta fans, they were giving it to Dylan Brown.
I heard
Boos
that.
were ringing out,
The
yeah.
boos
I
were
got
ringing
told.
through the TV, so you can tell they're not happy.
Can I touch on this? What do you guys think of that behaviour? Being honest with you, so I know it's frustrating. He's leaving. He's taken obviously a big $1 million deal to set his family up. But if that was a Roosters player, in your eyes, how would you feel right now, Jordan?
I wouldn't. Look, I'd be upset to lose a player of his caliber, but I'm definitely not booing him like that. Like, look, if he was going to South, I might give him some stick, but I'm not going to boo him like that. I just think that shows a bit of lack of class there from the Para fans. And I mean, Luke, Preston, you guys know a lot more of those fans than I do. Have any of those fans said anything about it, like how they're
I
feeling?
spoke to one this morning, and he agreed with it. So it's a tough one. If I was in that position, it'd be a tough one to answer.
I mean,
you'd
we've
be
had-
frustrated.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah,
be
look,
frustrated.
my mate there, my mate was at the game and he did boo,
Yeah.
along with the crowd, and I think I don't know, it definitely didn't help Dylan Brown's game. Like, he had a crack, he ran here and there, but their options on last were just shocking, honestly.
But to be fair, though, that West team strangled them.
Their defense
They couldn't do
from
anything.
last week against Newcastle,
Yeah.
Campbelltown to now.
Well, they missed
defense has
55
improved.
tackles last week, so anything was an improvement, to be fair.
I think it was at the back end of the first half. That's when they killed them. I think for 30 minutes it was set for set.
Yeah, like Parramatta were in it for a fair bit. But
I want to
just
give
done
a shout out though to the young debutant for Parramatta. He made his
Jordan.
Sammy,
yes, the young Lebanese
He
international.
played for the Bulldogs, didn't he? Back in the reserves.
Yeah, he made his debut for Para yesterday. Big shout out to him. To if he's watching, like, mate, you played amazing.
Yeah.
I saw his highlights today.
he went hard. He was probably a standout.
He's really good, and I'm loving it. I'm love seeing all these debutants.
Yeah,
like,
especially
playing
early in the
this
it's
season.
the new age.
It's amazing,
of football
mate.
coming
I love
through.
it.
It's just good to see some Wogs
And seeing
play.
all their family and friends behind them, like Hugo on Friday night, that was amazing.
But Presto,
Yeah, mate.
talking about doggies, Belmore Sunday night 6:15. The doggies and Titans. What did you see out of it, mate?
Doggies Titans 40-24. The doggies just, I feel like they just smoked them. And then I think Titans, they came back in the back end of the game. Obviously, Burden went off.
Keanu Kinney showed up
Yeah.
really well.
And Pereira, the fullback for the Titans, he absolutely...
Khan Pereira, yeah.
Khan Pereira, mate.
the winger?
Winger. Yeah, he played. Yeah, look,
Played
I
his
think...
skin out.
Yeah, I just think Titans, there's a few things. Like, Fafita came on like after half time, and I think Desi...
He played 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's
that
what I'm
$1 million
saying.
player, 30
What-
million.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening there.
Does does someone know? Is he hurt? Like, because to play 30 minutes
was
as
not
an
hurt.
ex-Origin back rower just doesn't seem right to me.
Hey, David, calm as
Tell us how you really feel, Theo.
that was because of what you did last year.
Well, Presto, what's
Serves you right.
your thoughts about the doggies now that Burden could have done his MCL?
Well, no, so Burton and Kickout both looking at
Kickout.
MCLs. Both got scans today. Looks like 4 to 6 weeks at least. for
That's
both
big
of them.
losses.
How do you think they'll go?
Well,
They're
that's
back
a left
against us in
edge.
time.
Satili's obviously a good pickup for them, so that benefits them there. They've obviously solved that problem, but unfortunately for them, they're going to have to find a replacement for Matt Burden, and I think it's looking like it's the what is it, the 15th Immortal, Drew Hutchinson.
No, I was actually talking to a Doggies fan this morning, and he was showing around. What about Joseph O'Neill? He's a young halfback, been playing New South Wales Cup for a couple of years. I know, Presto. What's your thoughts on it, mate?
No, I think Theo just took the words out of my mouth there, but yeah, I think Dogs. I think they'll go all right still. I'll probably beat Para next week. So.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
hope so.
Yeah, if Para beat the Dogs, then yeah, sorry.
I'm telling you, Moses is going to freaking come after you.
Well, Preston and I are going to that game, so I'm excited to see my cousin Anthony Moses there if you're watching.
Kareem Benzema.
All right, well, let's have a little discussion now about, obviously, Dylan Brown. He signed his 10-year contract. Long-term contracts, are they a good thing? Are they stupid? Do you think they work?
So, boys, I went down another rabbit hole this weekend, and I was looking
guy's
at
on fire.
I went down too many.
How
I
many
know,
rabbit holes did you go down?
mate, way too many. This is what happens when you have 9 players for cricket. You get knocked out very quickly. Look, so average contract length in the NRL is 2 to 3 years, right? There's 3 guys that are on 10-year deals or like currently on 10-year deals. So Tino, I'm not going to try and say his last name, but Tino. Dylan Brown obviously signed one starting next year, and Jason Taumalolo. Now, boys, I went through every single team, right? All 17 NRL teams. Did you know only 10 teams have players signed until 2029 or beyond? Now, I'm going to go through this list for you. The Broncos have Reece Walsh and Ezra Mam. The Bulldogs have Leo Thompson, who doesn't play there until next year, so it's 26, 27, 28, 29. The Cowboys have Helam Lukey and Tom Dearden. The Eels have Mitch Moses, obviously re-signed last week. We have Reece Robson, that's it. Manly have Ola Kawatu to 2030, Jason Saab and Taniela Paseka. The Sharks have Nico Hines. Melbourne have Jonah Pezzett. The Titans have Brimson and Tino, both 2030.
Peasant.
Jonah Pezzett,
When does his contract end?
2029. They've signed him.
Wow.
Now, this is all as per NRL.com, so fight me. And the Tigers have Jerome Luai. 10 teams signed to 2029. So I'm thinking, like, to go back to your question, long-term deals, like you look at some of these names and there's a lot of player options and stuff in there, like Fatino and that. And I don't know if Dylan has any in his, but I'm sure it'll come out eventually if he does. You don't know what's going to happen in 4 years' time, let alone 10.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I honestly don't like the idea, if I'm being honest.
No, I'm with you. I think it's too long.
I was speaking to our producer, Benny, today about it, and the Roosters, correct me if I'm wrong, we have not signed anyone for longer than 5 years.
No, never.
You
Never.
play it smart. Like
That's
even
it. It's smart. Like 10 years is a long time, like you were saying.
The only risk that they did sign, but it came with a clause because is Joseph Suwali to rugby union. It was a rugby clause.
Yeah,
that was it.
That was only a 4-year deal, I think.
That was it, but he stayed on for a while.
Yeah.
And then eventually it was going to happen. But bar that, Roosters are very good in those areas. They don't let players obviously run the club or their agent.
and then even like
Or hold it to ransom. You know what I mean?
And even touching on quickly like players in the back end of the career like Minicello, it was just those clever and simple 1 year contracts after 1 year.
DCE at the moment. That's probably
you just
what's
play
gonna
it
be.
safe. But do you think Ponga's going to stay on the ship or is he going to jump off? Is he going to start forming a combination with Brown?
I'll tell you something. For now, it's all good. But when things are not going their way, things do change for a reason because you're not getting results.
I was sitting in a hotel room in Tamworth for work watching that game, and I was actually watching it very intently because the role that Ponga played in their attack was he was playing like the halfback. He was that first receiver. So it allowed Jack Cogger and Fletcher Sharp to be either side, to run around, use their legs. But Ponga was that first receiver, and I think with Dylan Brown there, that system can work because Dylan Brown's a very good running 5'8".
Someone read a report. I think it was Brett Reid from the Sydney Morning Herald. He goes, it will be a hybrid
Telegraph.
role. Daily Telegraph. A hybrid role type of position.
That's what
so
it
he'll be
looked
playing.
like.
He'll have 7 on his back, but he'll be playing like the running game of a halfback.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I mean, that's what I saw on Thursday night out of the way they played.
Well, Presto, what's your thoughts about it? I'm getting to know your thoughts. Do you agree, results, disagree?
I don't know. 10 years is a long time. Like, obviously, he's going to, it's for his future, the money as well. He's going to move up there. I don't know. It gives a bit of maybe Tamalolo, like, the first half of his contract, he played well. And then the back end, he's slowing down.
It's
but
kind of like you get your money's worth in the first 5
Injuries
years.
come through and all
But,
that.
he's in the halves, like halves. DC is still playing,
Can I ask you something, Presto? Obviously, you follow AFL, don't you?
No, a little bit, yeah.
Didn't Buddy Franklin have
That was
a deal?
I think that was a 10-year. Oh, not a 10-year, sorry. It was
I think it was like a 7-year or something he got.
So it's still almost not
And
far away from a 10-year.
Look, to be fair, at the start of that deal, it probably paid off for the Swans, but at the end, he struggled to get on the field, and that's what eventually led to his retirement.
So Dylan Brown could face potential injuries when he gets older because they're going to rely on him very heavily as well.
They're going to obviously build a team around him, so...
Yeah. But the other parties, with the amount of money they're putting into him and Ponga, can they afford to build a team around
that's
him?
23% of their salary cap.
Yeah. Actually, no, it's a little bit more at the moment. Like, as of next year, to be like 26%.
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays out, eh? All right, let's move into round 3 for the footy. Now, Luke and I, mate, we're going across the ditch.
Yeah.
Roosters Warriors, Friday night.
Going for some fish and chips, boys.
Yeah, mate. So
Mate,
you looking forward
and
to
the
it?
meat
Skydive. Let's
pies.
go for a skydive. Come on.
Bungee jump, bro.
What
Bungee
are
jump.
you thinking about the game? Obviously, Warriors' impressive win against Manly. Chooks, look, one of the
I'm
greatest upset
excited.
win.
The odds are like pretty close. I think we're paying $1.98 and they're
Yeah.
$1.86.
Yeah, it's very
Flip
I
the
am
coin.
so excited to see Spencer versus James Fisher Harris.
Oh, wow.
That is going to be
Spencer's back,
huge.
baby.
And you know what? We've won our last 3 games in New Zealand, so
That's right. We've got a good record down there.
yeah, we used to struggle, but we've gone 3 in a row.
Hopefully,
there.
we get a lot of fans down there Friday night. I think it won't. It's like in the early 20s of degrees.
Yeah, it's going to be good weather still at this
Yeah.
time
better
of
than
year.
Combank.
Jordan, did you go into another rabbit hole? Do you have a stat for this game?
No. I purposely stayed out of the rabbit hole on this one.
How do you boys think we'll go on Friday night?
I think if we turn up the way we turned up against the Panthers, we legitimately could put have a 30-12 sort of game.
I think the Roosters can win. I was going to tip them actually, even if we lost to Penrith. I honestly believe that because
that
I
win was
think if we're not going to win against Penrith, we're going to beat the Warriors. And that's not being cocky or arrogant in any way. I just think it's good that the Warriors have gotten up, so they're up, so they've got a bit of confidence, and the Roosters do too now. So it'll be a tough away trip, but there's a good opportunity for the Roosters to strike.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be 1-12. I'm obviously going to lean Roosters. I know it's going to be a good game, and then off the field, obviously for Roosters fans on Thursday night, there's going to be the members meetup.
Yeah.
So Luke and I will be bouncing around there and then around Auckland. So
Come say hello.
no, it'll be good. It's first time in New Zealand, so it's going to be a treat.
I'll join you there next year, boys, if we go back.
If we make it out.
All right, let's go to the tips for the round. I'll start off with Storm versus Penrith.
That was a cracking game, man.
I had to look this Arvo. Penrith in the $3 now.
Wow.
Melbourne,
No Dylan Edwards.
no Dylan Edwards.
So Dan Laurie will go in, obviously.
Laurie will,
And
yeah.
down in Melbourne, how can you look?
can
It
you
could
go
be a
back?
Penrith upset. I don't know. Can they do a Chooks? I think I'm just going to back Melbourne here. I'm probably going to back him.
I can't see Melbourne being complacent. Not with Bellamy at the
I'm
helm.
going to go Melbourne 13+. I think they're going to put in another show.
I'll be honest, I agree with you.
That spine is very dangerous when
Oh, yeah.
Pappenhausen,
It's a number one spine.
Munster, and Jerome Hughes and Harry Grant are fit.
It's the number 1 spine in the game, straight up.
They're gonna. I think Bellamy's really going to get them up for it. A big statement type of game and say, look, we're the red hot favourites to take this comp out this year. It was Chooks, like I said earlier. I'm going to go Chooks 1-12. And Jordan, mate, Donkeys or Broncos versus Cowboys.
The Donkeys versus the Cowboys.
Queensland derby?
It's a Queensland derby up there at Suncorp. Look, I think after Madge's press conference, he's learnt more about his players. I think he's going to rip into them this week. And I think they're going to rip into the Cowboys. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they do to the Cowboys what they've done to us. I'm sitting Broncos 13+. I think they are going to absolutely
Light it up.
rip in and go hard because of what's happened. But, maybe the Cowboys will show up a bit with defense and keep it close.
And I think the pressure will intensify for the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's actually talks that Peyton's the first one on the chopping block this year after 2 games. So what's that tell you?
Now, Shark Park, Cronulla versus Souths.
Look, Shark Park has a special spot in my heart, given I live 10 minutes from it.
You going?
Look, no, I'm actually not going, sadly. I will be doing some things for baseball. But, look, Souths have squeaked by their last 2 games. The Sharks have had 2 very good performances. Even last week, they were off, but they were still good. First game at home, Shark Park, I think the Sharks will put on a good performance. I think they're going to get up. 1-12, I think the Rabbits will put in a fight. But I don't know if they are going to have enough based on what they've done the last 2 weeks. They've squeaked by on everyone else's mistakes. They haven't been able to do their own.
I disagree. I don't think it'll be close. I think they've been very lucky with the Dolphins and the Dragons because they've been very poor sides. I think if the Sharks at Shark Park will be actually more of a challenge for the Rabbits.
Yeah, but the Sharks struggle against the Bunnies sometimes.
It's like their bogey side.
Yeah, it's like their bogey side. And Ravalawa looks like he's possibly debuting for the club.
South,
so that's a big winger to have next to Campbell Graham. That's going to make a difference, I reckon. But, yeah, no, definitely. Look, I'm going the Sharks to win. That's a guarantee. I'd lock that one in.
Is that Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m?
That is...
I think it's
3 that
PM,
is the 3 p.m. That is the early afternoon game on Saturday. And then we head into the Dolphins and Tigers, Luke.
Take it away, mate.
Boys, I think Tigers are going to win
Continue their
13
run.
plus.
You think they're just going to build on that form? from against
Taruva, Luai, Terrell May,
Jerome Buller.
all forming together. I reckon they're going to
Skelton.
go and run riot.
Gerald Skelton's in good form as well
Yeah.
on that left side for them.
Mate,
So-
I think they're going to run riot. Terrell May, he's played 2 games.
Royce Hunt.
Oh, Royce, mate.
I can't wait to see him against Spencer. That's going to be a UFC clash.
Those Tigers fans were loving it off the back fence from Royce.
They're
It
trying
says
to make their
Spencer.
own.
Who's Spencer?
No, when we play the Tigers.
when we play them.
That'll be
When
a
we
cracker.
play-
That'll be
yeah.
a cracking game. Yeah.
But No, it'll be good. I think Tigers will win this comfortably. And I think the game's in Queensland.
Yeah,
in
I think
Redcliffe.
it's actually at Suncorp, to be honest.
Oh, it's a Suncorp.
Is it okay
not
stadium?
I thought they were taking that one to Suncorp, but it may have changed.
No, it's
All right,
okay.
we'll bounce over to you now, Theo. Titans, Knights. You think Titans going to look for a win?
Before you do, Eels and Doggies, my
Oh,
friend.
yeah.
Are you heading to that one?
Mate, if we get out the customs early, like at a normal time, if Preston doesn't like hide anything
Doesn't
in the
try
bags,
and bring anything back from Condon King.
I tell you what, mate, not going to the Goldie, but every time I've been to the airport, I've been taken to the side and searched. I don't know what it is, mate, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well,
Just
this
looks
week,
sus, bro.
week when you're with me, you'll be safe.
No, because Luke will be the one getting
I'll be the
searched.
one. But no, we're planning to go to the game, Preston and I, Sunday afternoon.
Four things go well.
I think it's going to be closer than people are saying.
I think so too.
It's one
Only
of those
because
games
Matt
Parrot get
Burden
out.
is going to be out,
Kick
kick
Owl's
out
out.
too. And I think Paris copying heaps, like after yesterday's loss. I think it's going to be very close. I'm saying Bulldogs 1-12. But yeah, my prediction is 18-14.
Moses, Parrot winning, bro. Don't worry about him. Anyway.
I hope not.
All right, let's jump to the Titans and the Newcastle Knights. Now, the Titans that were very disappointing at Belmore, obviously dropped ball, and obviously Dave Fafita playing 30 minutes, which I cannot understand from Des Hasler. But if you got to go with form, you got to just tip. You can't tip against the Knights, can you?
No, they're too good at the moment.
Callum Ponga, Fletcher Sharp, Greg Marju, Dan Gagai, Bradman Best, the list goes on. James Shearer, and then their forward pack, they're just unbelievable at the minute.
They look good.
I can't tip the Titans. I can't. I tipped you last week, and you were absolutely underwhelming. So
You're the only one that tipped the Titans, weren't you?
yeah,
And for the top 8 as well.
Hey, you got
And
to
for the
vote.
top 8, yeah.
Hey, it's still early days with that. So calm down, Luke.
Yeah, how's those Cowboys going?
Yeah,
for
how
top
your
4?
Cowboys going,
I
mate?
reckon they're going to do an upset.
Give me a
Friday
giddy
night.
up. Anyway, and then let's move to Manly versus the Raiders. Now, this is actually a
At
dangerous
Brookie.
game. This is a dangerous
I'm
game,
keen
and I'll
for
tell you
this.
why.
This will be a good one at Brookie.
Because Raiders have proven a lot of teams wrong the last 2 weeks that they've played. They went to Vegas, they upset the Warriors. Or no, who was the favourites?
The Warriors were the favourites, yeah.
So they upset the Warriors.
Yeah.
With the squad, and they had the off-field drama with Hudson Young and Morgan. Even though it was minor,
Yeah,
but still, it was the media were giving their little.
They didn't get caught
little
up in it.
segment. Yeah, so they brushed that off. They went on and upset the Warriors. Then they played in round 2, a red hot Brisbane side who actually did a number on us, and I got to applaud Ricky Stewart. Unbelievable, unbelievable how he ambushed them. And
Where's he head going?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna tip the Raiders. I think the Raiders are gonna ambush.
I agree
ambush
with you.
Manly.
I actually agree.
I have
I
a
think the
feeling.
Raiders are going to do it.
I just
You have a
Manly
feeling.
were inconsistent, and now Tom's in cotton wool by the looks of things for 1
Tom's
week.
out. Well,
Cherry
Tom's
Evans?
potentially
No,
out.
Cherry Evans is fine.
is
He-
alright.
He's
It's
fine.
minor. It's just a back
Yeah,
spasm.
no, but there is a chance he won't play.
So
Like, he'll be
if
giving
those
us
two
the
are
game.
out, mate, Canberra will do a number. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
Savage is back for the Raiders as well.
Cool. All right, Luke. For New Zealand, quickly, mate. Where to find us on game day?
Well, on game day, we'll be
If
in...
anyone else making the trip to NZ.
Yeah, if you're making the trip down, firstly, as Preston mentioned before, Thursday night we'll be at the Pullman Hotel for the members event.
Yep.
5:30 p.m. New Zealand time. Then at the game, we'll be out on the lower south stand, Bay 23. So I had a look earlier, and it's sold out already.
gonna be
The
good
Bay,
atmosphere.
the Bay's sold
I'm
out.
looking forward to it.
But if you haven't bought tickets yet, Bay 24 next to it is open. If you live in New Zealand, traveling there, let's bring the support. We're taking the drum down. Wayne's bringing the banners.
Yep.
Yes.
Mate,
be good.
let's cheer the boys on. Let's keep it going. Because we got them over the line the other night.
mate, and we'll do it overseas. So
That's it.
It'll be good, mate. Theo, mate.
Yep, as usual, a big thank you to Steel Roofing Supply Centre, our great sponsor. They've been awesome to us. And as usual, if you need any roofing materials, please make your way to the website, steelroofing.com.au. What are you laughing at?
Jordan.
And guys, look, I know it's round 3 of the season, but hey, jump on our ESPN tipping, join in with the boys. Look, a few of us have had a bad start, so you can probably overtake us if you jump in now. So,
Mate, 5 from 8 last week.
all right,
Wow.
show off.
Bad.
Did you get 5 from 8?
5 from 8.
Wow.
And if I tipped Chooks, would have been 6 from 8. but
You show off.
We live in the
None of us tipped the Chooks, but that's fine. They proved us wrong. Guys, head to Insta, jump on our link tree, link to the SPM footy tippings there. So jump in, have some fun, and see if you can catch up to us after we've all had some pretty bad starts.
And a shout out to, as usual, Benny, our producer, who does a lot of hard work behind the scenes. Thank you, Benny, for organising us as usual, and it wouldn't happen without him. So yeah,
No, it wouldn't. All right, guys. Well, like, follow, subscribe, hit the socials, Spotify, YouTube, when it all drops. And like I said, this week it's going to be a special episode. 2 episodes dropping. Stay tuned. From all of us at RMTV, it's goodbye.
see you later,
Great night,
guys.
Go the
See ya.
Chooks.